clients, or partners.
It's Friday, the 19th day of February, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindo's. I'm Jamila Hartman, along with Carla Zool and Jackie Lambert. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. If you're watching online, share the link. If you're on Facebook, start a watch party. If you're on Twitter, retweet it. Channel 82, call somebody. Just get the conversation out there to your network. And don't forget to like and engage with us. Another good one is Jamila Hanley stops by from the Bermuda Sloop Foundation. That would be the Spirt of Bermuda, the boat. Me and boats don't necessarily have a great relationship, but I heard this is a great one that people can benefit from. The daily play is it's the feud. No, so number one answers only. Let me just recite early on because what are you laughing at, Carla?
Nothing. I'm happy. Happy Friday. It's Friday. Yay. Okay, I don't need to rest, but yeah.
Well, I just wanted to kind of go over the rules with Jackie. So Jackie, I'm going to start reminding you one of these weeks. So you can't yell out 5 answers at once. You did well last week. You did well last week. And though we don't have buzzers, if you say one answer, then give Carla a chance to get an answer wrong before you got to say another.
I killed this game. In fact, I was smiling because Jackie, from Monday to Thursday, as you know, he cyberbullies me. He does a disclaimer before everything, every daily play, and then Fridays he picks on you. So hey, I'm happy.
What are you talking about? It. I do not pick on you, Carla. Okay. Anyway, these are like my two good sisters. Everyone knows I do not cyberbully them. I just ask questions, and I think their answers are comedy. I think they are actually very good comedians, and they're entertaining. So I laugh with them, not at them. That's the difference. So let me apologize for laughing with you today at the answers that you've yet to give. How's that?
Exactly, Jackie.
Well, we have a lot to discuss. There's a lot going on, guys. Firstly, we have to address Carnival because the Carnival queen of the show, Jackie, is in the house today, as you can see. But usually her and hundreds of other Bermudians would have been in Trinidad this week celebrating. And, well, there's a certain COVID pandemic that has stopped the ability for people to travel to party in Trinidad. But how are you all making out, Jackie? You had any virtual parties you attended?
No. Wow. They tried to have this virtual concert on YouTube. I think it was Monday or Tuesday, and it didn't work. It wasn't good, and it didn't fill the void. But a few of us got together on Saturday, went to brunch, and that was a good time.
So when you said didn't fill the void, is that the fact that nobody could wind up on somebody and touch somebody? And
because that's what I want to ask. Did it fail for the organization or did it fail for Jackie?
I mean, so you're watching people because it's almost like it's in, it looked like it was in Cedar Bridge, the
setting.
Ruthie James, right. So people are there and they're watching, but they're sitting in their seats with their masks on. So it's not even like you're watching anybody else have a good time. They're just sitting there in the audience. And then, of course, you want to wind up on somebody's son or child. Like, not child, but like...
Well, even a 30-year-old. Even a 30-year
Right.
old young man is someone's child. So you're right.
Child.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to go out and have a good time and you can't. There's no freedom. Like carnival is about freeing up and just letting loose and cleansing. It's almost like a purge, right? So you go down there and you have a good time, and I couldn't this year. You just But I don't feel alone because I have friends down there in Trinity, and I'm just like, how you making out? Because this is a part of their like lifestyle. This is their culture, and it just ceased to exist this year. So they're just like, we aren't even doing anything. These streets are dead. Like when we usually go down there, it's called the Avenue, and it's usually flooded with people and cars, and yeah.
So Savannah Grass.
I got a picture.
Savannah Grass is a no-go this year then.
No go. No go.
Oh, you have
I'm gonna have to send you the link. Yeah.
Terry says yes, you want to wind up on a bunch of somebody's sons. Yeah, that
exactly.
All right.
I can't even see Terry doing
No,
that.
like seriously. Last year I was diving into crowds.
Hold on. We spoke about Terry yesterday. She's a GIF. Like we there's evidence out there. She didn't even know it was there. So yeah, the more you learn, the more you learn. But look, did you guys see Barbados weekend curfew? That's something, ain't it? Like Bermudians have been complaining about an overnight curfew, right? Barbados has got like an whole weekend curfew.
And they said they will lock you up if you don't have the proper exemptions or reasonings. Clink, clink, behind bars.
So what's it like? It's 6 p.m. like Friday to 5.
It's like 7 p.m. Friday to 6 a.m. Monday.
So hold on. So you're telling me not only Friday night, but during Saturday, Saturday, that's time when, well, at least in Bermuda, a lot of people will go to the grocery store, do their shopping, do things. Let's say they had to go to the laundromat to do wash clothes or whatnot. Like that's crazy to me.
Is it? Well, apparently it's still. So yeah. So apparently they've been doing this for 2 weeks, right? And you were able to go to the store, the hospitals, everything else, like essential stuff is still operating. So it's kind of like how when we did our shelter in place for the 2 weeks, it's just that theirs has been extended for a couple more days because they, over the Christmas holiday, decided to wild out. And now they have 826 active cases. But the amount of cases that they've had in total is 2,608 or 2,806 or something like that. So they're trying to control it and contain it because they've lost control.
And then I think also with that the first nursing professional, it was a nursing assistant. She died on Sunday, and it's like that's really shaking people up because she's the first healthcare worker to die since the pandemic began. So I guess Mia Mottley's not playing.
Yeah, one of my favorite leaders around the world, Mia Mottley, locking down. I people think that I have this dislike or hate for the government, and the truth is, it's not really a hate or dislike. It's just, I just have opinions about the way they do things, and sometimes these opinions are, well, most of the times these opinions are not favorable because I just don't believe that governments necessarily do what's in the best interest of the people. I believe that they do what's in the best interest to help them maintain power. That said, if I can sit here and criticize the government, then you have to give credit. And I know people will disagree, and I know people have been frustrated with the Bermuda government throughout this whole pandemic and not understanding. And I think the government, in fairness, has not done a great job of explaining. I always speak about me having an issue with authority. It's not necessarily being, people telling me or educating me and teaching me. It's really people telling me what to do without explaining the purpose of what sense it makes. And so I think that's where the Bermuda government has failed. They failed to really tell people why the curfew makes sense. And the examples are there. We're talking about Barbados, right? The examples are there. You can use what's happened in other destinations. Like this is what happened in this destination. So we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to avoid that happening. So go ahead, Carla.
I just feel like, because Jackie was saying, they let out, and now Bermuda's back off of curfew. And I've been seeing all the different little jokes about like no more sleepovers or whatever the case, no more excuses. But living in the UK and seeing how it's still very prevalent, I still have that bit of worry for Bermuda. I don't want to speak it on them, but I just hope that people still realize, especially because the borders aren't closed, that this pandemic can rear its head and re-rear its head at any time, and we just cannot take that for granted.
But we did that already because we were let off during summer, and then they put us back on curfew. So I mean, hopefully we've learned our lesson, but I have to admit I'm not excited about it.
I mean,
I have friends that don't like to go home and they want to hop, skip, and jump to every little set that's going on. And if every set is able to go on until the break of dawn, you're just going to be passing your germs on throughout the island.
well, let's hope that, like you said, lessons are learned. We know that for everybody that learns a lesson, there's a few that just don't care. But I just really hope that we sometimes can be our own worst enemy. So we'll complain about the economy being shut down, blah, 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 but then do stuff that reverts to the same problem. So I just hope that everyone just stays safe and uses these countries like Barbados. I saw someone mention about St. Lucia, that we as Bermudians don't have that repeat.
Indeed. Robert Durham says, I disagree, Jamal. The government has said why they put it. So, Robert, I'm going to tell you, instead of saying that, tell us what the government said. Because I know you're on Twitter, might not be active, but it's funny that the government can take their time to explain things to Twitter, the Twitterverse, when an election's come in, but they haven't taken the time to explain to the Twitterverse when an election's not coming. So don't just put that comment. Explain what they said. Say what they've said and why they put it on curfew. Because I have not. What I'm saying is, show them examples. Teach the people. Show them so that they on Twitter don't have questions. You know, I've done sales all my life. And one of the first things I learned in sales, Robert, was that when you're trying to sell someone something, right? Forget the new age sale about the benefits of to the person that you're selling, but answer the objections before they can have questions. And it's no different with politics. The people should have answers before you even have questions. So if all these young people on Twitter that have questions and are asking questions, like why does it make sense for this curfew, you give them examples of where it's worked, why it's worked there, right, how it works, break it right down. But if you're not answering the questions, you can't expect these people to buy into what you're trying to sell them. Judith PR Parsons says, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else than Bermuda in this pandemic. I stay in my space.
I agree with you.
I definitely don't want to be in Florida. Or even Haiti.
You might spot a learn,
or Manchester.
Did you see Haiti?
We have a lot more to go. Elizabeth says a spike has happened once, and it can happen again. And then Michelle White says, last night was the first night off curfew and my neighborhood was busy. There will be a lot of careless activity now. And that's the hope. As we wrap this part up, that's the hope, is that people remain cautious and careful and don't get reckless. Do not get reckless. I want to move on to Cancun cruise. Have you guys heard of Cancun cruise?
No.
The junior senator from Texas, Ted Cruz, who his state is suffering from bad weather, like people dying from carbon monoxide down there. They pretty much are freezing. And he took off with his family to Cancun and pretty much has been caught in some lies. But he said he was just taking his daughters there. They wanted to get away and go to a warm place and then booked a ticket right back. And people are saying, but he's lying because he wasn't even supposed to come right back. His ticket was for Tuesday, So it's another example of a politician or privilege, someone saying, you know what? And I think this happened with Bloomberg some years ago, where he was the mayor of New York City. And then the news papers were saying, oh, he's in Bermuda while we're suffering here. It might have been Sandy. I can't remember, but it was something back then. But leaders taking these trips while their people are dealing with a crisis probably isn't a good look.
Texas is looking real bad. I feel sorry for those people. All those families dying in cars to stay warm.
Mm-hmm.
Pipes are bursting, houses are flooding, and then freezing on top of that.
Mm-hmm. And you see some people are using like barbecues and stuff to kind of turn snow into water. Like that's crazy.
And then telling them they can't use the tap water, but they're having very limited access to bottled water.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like my cousin lives in Texas, and she was like, thankfully we have power, but we don't have water. And in Bermuda, power and water is one and the same. And
Mm-hmm.
so it makes you think again, wow, you're blessed, because they literally have all these different variants to keep their houses functioning, and families are suffering. Did you see the baby with the oxygen tank that a 5-month-old, he must have been preemie, and the family has to ration his oxygen to keep him alive?
Really? Oh.
Yeah. So that yesterday.
Yes, it's a sad state in Texas right now. So, if you know people in Texas, check on them. I know I called a couple of my friends down there. Look, today is a big day in Bermuda, right? The government is tabling cannabis legislation to be debated, and I think some people younger people on Twitter are asking what's there to debate. But then I saw in the Royal Gazette this morning. Let me find it real quickly. The Royal Gazette. It looked like a couple of people were concerned about this. You guys, let's see. Nope.
The comments.
Yeah, it was something. I got this new phone. I don't know how it saves and stuff. So gotta look. Oh, here we are. So on the Gazette this morning, family groups worried about cannabis laws, and it looks like child and family welfare campaigners raised concerns about cannabis laws that are to be debated in the House of Assembly today. They feared that given the green light to growing and selling the drug would send the wrong message to young people, and asked how regulations would be enforced. But I think that's the whole purpose of the debate, right? Like, it's not necessarily whether or not we're going to move forward with cannabis legislation. I think that's a done deal. I think it's more or less how it looks and how it happens. No, I mean,
yeah, I am so on the fence about the whole marijuana thing, but I think people are dramatic and extra about it. It's not like people haven't been smoking marijuana in Bermuda since Hector was a puppy, So,
well, what are you on the fence about?
Because I've seen how marijuana ruins families, but I also feel that maybe I'm anti-abuse as opposed to anti-marijuana. Because I know accountants who smoke and lawyers who smoke, and they're productive, and they're not out stealing or neglecting their responsibilities for a plant. So I'm just
You say
on
the
the
same
fence.
about alcohol. You can
No,
go
but
ahead and remove alcohol.
I think the alcohol one, I remember arguing about that. And I was just like, you know what? You know what's easier than alcohol? Because I love Carla's conservatism, don't get me wrong, because it really gives me a space to say, yes, we can have an argument today. Look, everyone knew it. Look, let me be very clear. When I was a delegate in the PLP, I was probably one of the only young voices very against the idea of cannabis, very against it, and at the same time fighting to end conscription. What I don't get is what Carla just said, is you say that you've seen, and she clarified by saying it's the abuse. I'm not going to use alcohol because if anything, we should be fighting to make that illegal rather than putting something else on its level. What I will say is we cannot go around eating ourselves to death, and then complaining about overdosing or abusing on cannabis. Like, I just think it goes back to, you've heard these arguments all the time for years, that people say, I've seen the damage that cannabis has caused to people and families. There's nothing that has damaged the Black community like heart disease, stroke, diabetes.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so when we talk about any substance, let's talk about what we eat. Let's talk about what we put into our bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're gonna have this vibe and this way and feel this, and again, this is not justifying cannabis. I'm just really trying to make people think that if it's really about what people put into their body, we need to be out there and trying to make things illegal, not to get a government tax or more government revenue, but because it's not helping us as a community. It's not helping our health. It's doing nothing but setting us back and putting us in positions where we're going to end up paying for drugs, and it's not going to be cannabis. It's going to be diabetes drug, heart disease.
And these are expensive.
Indeed. So I don't know. I can totally appreciate and understand why people may be against the cannabis legislation. I don't necessarily agree with the perspective anymore. But that's just me. And again, well, the Rick goes, thus the sugar tax. But again, what is it there for? It's a government. It's income. It's income. Is it really there to prevent obesity, which to me is more prevalent in our community than most other things? Talent TJ Clark says, so they'd rather it be legal and keep the same risk they're opposed to. Well, black market. That's pretty much what he's saying. Dr. Seaman says it's not like families haven't been suffering, or our families, not them. Judith R. Parsons, it's going to be interesting who benefits. Bingo. I would be disturbed if that's
It
just
ends up on Front Street.
There we go. You said
okay. Because I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I might change my building around so that I can accommodate these things. And oh, let me see if I can find some land so I can start growing it myself. And who has all the land and who has all of Front Street?
Kathy Brumby says, follow the money. Who benefits? Mark Arthur C. Phillips. We're a bit behind, folks, but we'll get there. We just had a lot to discuss today. Jamal, you know me and my struggle. You know, I've been overweight my whole life. You're truly right, not white. We do so much harm to our body with food we consume. I'm guilty.
Me too.
I think a lot of us were guilty. Michelle Smith, it's too late. The change in possession law has already given school-age people the permission to use. So many 13 to 18-year-olds are smoking on right. Well, I mean, it was like that in my day.
I was going to say, they've been doing that forever.
I mean, I remember guys when I was walking school talking about, I'm just having my breakfast. I'll catch you guys up. So I don't, you know, I just think I let what Carla said resonate with everyone. It's the abuse of any and everything. It's the abuse. Carla, let's get to the news. We're way behind, but we have Jamila Hanley coming up from the Bermuda Sloop Foundation. So stick with us. Don't go anywhere, but a lot going on. Carnival not taking place, but Jackie still has her smiling face. The Bob curfew. They are on lockdown the entire weekend. Bermuda, keep up the good work. Cancun cruise we discussed. Yep, that's the junior senator from Texas down there. And cannabis legislation in Bermuda. I am going to do my best to tune in. So, folks, listen to that. See where people stand. These are the people you vote for. Carla, over to you.
Around 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday, police responded to a report of a robbery which occurred at the junction of Orge Road and Cherry Hill Park in Paget. Upon arrival, police spoke with the complainant, a 19-year-old woman who told officers she was riding east on Orge Road, taking her 16-year-old friend to school. As they neared the junction with Cherry Hill Park, a white motorcycle with two unknown men approached them. One of the men then allegedly snatched a gold chain off her neck and caused her to lose control of the bike. Both she and her passenger fell to the ground and sustained minor injuries. The suspects reportedly made a U-turn and drove away from the scene, traveling west on Orge Road. EMTs attended and checked the victims' injuries, which were not thought to be life-threatening. The suspects, whose faces were covered, were on a white motorcycle. The pillion passenger was wearing a black jacket and the rider a white helmet. Anyone with information on this incident is asked to call 211 or the main police number 295-0011. Well, it seems like being on lockdown has taken its toll on one British man who handed himself into police so he wouldn't have to spend more time in lockdown with the people he lived with. Officers said the man was wanted for recall to prison and gave himself up at Burgess Hill Police Station on Wednesday afternoon to get some, quote, peace and quiet. Inspector Darren Taylor from Sussex Police explained the unusual turn of events in a post on Twitter. He said, peace and quiet. Wanted male handed himself into the team yesterday afternoon after informing us he would rather go back to prison than have to spend more time with the people he was living with. One in custody and heading back to prison to serve some further time on his own. Today is Tug of War Day. Dropped from the Olympic Games in 1920, tug of war still remains a worldwide sport, and many nations have their own governing bodies. Aside from formal competitions, pole features at many fairs and festivals, spectators are encouraged to cheer on their favorite side. Join in Tug of War Day by organizing your own event or getting involved in another. Tug of war is a competitive sport that takes place around the world and has a long and ancient history. Two teams hold each end of a large rope and attempt to pull the other towards them in order to win. Contests often take place over bodies of water or muddy areas so that the losing team suffers the indignity of falling in, which is preferable to the Vikings version of tug of war when teams competed over a pit of fire. Turning to weather, the temperature in Bermuda is expected to reach a high of 72 today. Miami, Florida will see a high of 73, and Liverpool, UK, a high of 53. It's Friday, so tune into the full100radio.com from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Bermuda time for the office workout with Juggling Jason. That's your daily hour news break.
Did you say Tug of War Day, Carla?
It is.
So tug of war, that's like, so it would be like Jackie and me pulling on a rope against you kind of thing?
You're trying to say I'm fat? You're trying to say I'm fat.
No. I'm trying to say that it'll be young versus old.
We'll be back for a commercial break.
We'll
be back. I'm freezing. I don't have no Wi-Fi.
We'll be right back. I'm sorry. They were laughing too. Both Jackie and I's fans were laughing at you. We're going to be right back with GT from the Bermuda Sleep Foundation. Don't go anywhere.
Good day, Medical House Doris speaking. Can I help you?
Medical House is Bermuda's leading one-stop shop for healthcare.
Medical House is a great resource for Leroy. The service is excellent.
Medical House is best known for its uniforms and footwear. It has hundreds of styles of scrubs and nurses' uniforms for health professionals. Bermuda's top doctors, dentists, care homes, and the hospital choose Medical House for a wide range of products. These same professional quality products are available to you for home health care.
The biggest reason to come see us is that we specialize in these areas and the education and knowledge that we provide.
Medical House is on Millreach Lane in Pembroke, where there's private parking right outside the door. Call or visit Medical House today.
Amy's Kitchen is an independent organic food producer, a family business who've been focusing on wholesome and flavorful foods for over 30 years. From their first pot pie right up to 1 million meals a day, and firmly believe in the importance of TLC throughout the entire journey to the final outcome. This month we're featuring Amy's Organic Soups, Black Bean Vegetable Minestrone, Quinoa Kale Red Lentil, Low-Fat Split Pea, and Vegetable Barley and more. All of them dairy, gluten, and lactose free. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show. Well, Carla Zul, I'm Jamel Hartman, Jackie Lambert. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by One Communications, Lindo's, Medical House, our friends over there at Channel 82, where you can watch this and many other locally produced shows if you have One Communications cable. Thanks again. Look, Carla, we can, all three of us can be on the same team for tug of war. But I'm just worried. Like, I can trust Jackie. Jack is an athlete. I can't trust us. We're older athletes. Our burns don't function like hers. Like,
I never knew you to play any sport. I was a national athlete. I played softball up until 2 years ago because I had an injury and now the pandemic. So don't talk about we. Jackie, he hurt my feelings. I'm done.
First off, I was invited to play on national teams in both cricket and football. I have no interest in sport.
Waterboy is not a national position.
Softball, There's only one softball girl that's made headlines lately, and it's the girl I retweeted the other day, and that's because she was singing on the damn pitch. So don't talk about acting national softball. Talk to me when you taking up a little spot.
That's when you was in your Elmo bag. When you was in your Elmo bag, I was in Puerto Rico, Newfoundland, and everywhere I was playing softball. Thank you. Ask Tony Machette. But anyway,
Carla,
we digress.
that's like telling me you want the cheerleading team. Anyway, look, we have an important guest to bring in the conversation. Jackie, we can't help if she can't beat us in tug of war. I was gonna let her be on our team too, you know. I was gonna let her be on our team, but nope, not now. Nope. She talked her way out of being on our team. She could find somebody else. Let's bring in Jamila Hanley from the Bermuda Sloop Foundation. Jamila, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Good morning to all of you.
Hi.
Hi.
You want to be on Carla's tug of war team?
I will. Carla, I got your back. I'll be on your team.
Hey, you look robust like me. Thank you, Jamila.
Yes, no worries at all.
Oh, Carla has a new friend, folks. But of course, Jamila didn't come to offer Carla any assistance on her tug of war team. But Jamila, speak to us a bit about who and what the Bermuda Sloop Foundation is. Tell us a bit for those who don't know.
Okay, so I can tell you that she's a non-for-profit organization, and she's been a registered charity since 1998. And so they had this idea to build this boat. As you can see behind me, that's where the inspiration came from to build our 3-masted Bermuda sloop. And that goes back to our history as Bermudians. And we tried to convey that message to our students, our M3 students, throughout the public school system and the private school system on the island.
Okay.
I noticed you said, I'm sorry, Jackie.
It's okay.
Go.
Because
I heard you say she. That took me off. I was like, so why do you call it she? Because it's an engine?
No, because the ships are usually female. They're usually female. They're referred to as being female in nature. Yes. So
like men in their cars.
Yes, right? Exactly.
My car's named Snow White. Yes.
So we sorry, go ahead. So our whole purpose is to institute STEAM education, the Bermuda history, and integrate that through an experiential learning platform. And we also focus on social emotional learning, which is critical for our students to be able to understand and practice and put in their toolkit as they move through life.
Okay, so what are some other programs that you offer on board the Spirt of Bermuda, and why is it so important for our young Bermudians and their development?
So what happens is by being immersed on the boat, so we have a 5-day residential program, which they live aboard for 5 days, Monday through Friday, and they learn all these skills on board, and then they can apply those to life ashore. Then we also take out of those kids that really enjoy it, or the ones that we think really need the discipline offered on our boat, to come back, and then we start to do more in-depth time with them on board. And that includes circumnavigating the island. And then as they get older, over the age of 16, we invite them to go overseas with us when we do friendly interactions with other tall ships around the world, including Canada, the UK, Portugal, the States, and down to the Caribbean as well. And by being on board with us, it kind of gets them, they don't go home. So they get the opportunity to be immersed in our program. So they're getting away from their cell phones. No electronics are allowed on board. We check bags and everything. We also have a health program that our chef makes sure that all their meals are healthy. We have snacks every day that are strictly healthy. And it also teaches them that you have other options besides what you were talking about earlier in your show about the unhealthy eating. So we try to reverse that mentality and get them on board with that and realize that being on board a ship is really hard work, and you're going to learn so much about yourself. That character education is one of the foundations of our program. And then taking all of that and put it to the experiential learning not seamanship and things like that.
So you say that everybody is immersed on the ship and you get the chef to make healthy meals for you. Do you guys do fishing? Like, do you fish off the side of the boat? What is their diet like?
Their diet is, well, we provide the food and our chef will prepare it, but we do provide the opportunity to fish, and we make sure that we offer that because it's a fun activity. Yeah. I mean, we all grew up in Bermuda and we love fishing. So they don't actually catch the fish and cook it, but that is an option depending on the chef's likes or, desire, or even the students that may not take to the seamanship part of being on board. They might like being a chef, they might like the engineer. So they will shadow the chef throughout the week. They'll shadow the engineer, they'll shadow the captain or the first mate and learn those hard skills as well.
Okay. Now, obviously, we're still in a pandemic. We're powering through. But what has your team done in response to the challenges?
Oh, wow. Yeah, we've been working hand in hand with the health department, especially Miss Beach there. She's given us a couple of regulations to follow, but just some simple things that we do. We have a lot of fabric in our boat, so we have all those plastic covers so we can wipe them down every single day. We wipe down all surfaces every single day. We also have sanitizing before anybody gets on board the vessel. We follow the mask regulations and we social distance, and we make sure that all those regulations are adhered to on a daily basis.
So speak to us about the Bermuda Sloop Foundation's Pirate Plunge Challenge.
Okay, so as you know, COVID has put a big hit on all the charities in the world, not just on our island. But what we're working towards is our Pirate Challenge we do every year. It's a fundraiser for us so that we can obtain the funds that we need to continue the program. And so this year we're going virtual. The ship itself will be at the RBYC. And we will have individuals, families, friends, children jumping in their respective locations wherever they choose in their own bubble. And then they will virtually show that footage, send it to us through the social media outlets. And then we will broadcast that. But how the charity goes, how the fundraising goes is that we have people who have to walk the plank, basically. And so you have an opposing side they fund money for that person to walk the plank. And then they have an opposing side to defer them from walking that plank. So the battle between the two sides for that individual go constant. And that's how the money is raised. It's fueled one way or the other. And then most people are in good spirits. They walk the plank anyway, whether they've been outbid to not walk the plank.
So I love how you guys were creative with doing the virtual plunge. Was it hard to get people to come on board to do that?
Yeah, like everything, things are really hard in this COVID time, but, people are dedicated to Spirt. They understand our worth and what we're trying to do for our community. And they're still willing and able to participate as the best they can. So, yeah. But we do encourage everybody to please go on our website and participate. And if you don't wish to jump in the water, it's still cold, right? Because, I'm a summer person. But if you still take the plunge, you can still donate money.
And what can parents and attendees expect to get out of the program?
Out of the Pirates program or the program?
I would say the program overall.
The program in general, like going back to what I said before, it's just those hard skills, like the social emotional learning is very, very important to us because not every student learns in the classroom setting. Yeah. So we try to take them out of that. And by doing the experiential learning, they get the hands-on type of skills that they would have. And social emotional learning can take you throughout life, can make you so much more successful. We follow the 7 habits of highly effective people. And that's our main platform. And by using those tenets, it's able to make your future career successful. Whatever you do in life is going to make you more dedicated and more strong and more just focused on the task at hand.
Now, you talked about the 5, not the 5, you take away the cell phones for 5 days. I'm still traumatized, but I'm an adult, right?
Yes.
What's it like when you have a student or a young person that's really resistant? And then what does it feel like when at the end and they realize that this was such a powerful experience for them?
And that's exactly it, right? So they're on Monday and, you see the faces, you see the withdrawal that they might have. But by day 3, which is why we prefer the residential program versus the day programs that we're currently doing because of the COVID regulations. By day 3, they start to get into the groove, and that resistance and those barriers start to fall by the wayside. And as we move forward, they start to see that they can accomplish things that they never thought they would have on their own or without the guidance that we're offering on Spirt. And then by Friday, it's such a sense of accomplishment. They get their t-shirts. We're sailing into Hamilton Harbor. We're still sailing, tacking and jibing, and we're showing the community, their parents, the public, that these are all the kids. They're steering the boat at the helm. They're adjusting the sheets. They're doing the tacks and the jibes. They're doing everything on board. And that's a sense of self-accomplishment that they get, even if they were very resistant on the very first day. Don't get me wrong, they're craving the KFC and the pizza and their phones when they get off, right? But at the end of it, they're recognizing within themselves that the strength comes from within.
So real quickly though, for people like me, boats and I don't really have a great relationship,
Yeah.
What are you all laughing at? So is there a part where someone can join in the boat, not leave the dock?
That's called maintenance. That's called maintenance. Like the ship has a lot of wear and tear, so you can come by and help us do a lot of maintenance that we have on board. Yes.
Okay, so there is an option for people like me.
Yeah.
Jamila is truly my teammate in tug of war. Girl, I love you.
Yes, I got your back.
How can interested parties partner, learn more, support, or even experience the boat?
So we have a myriad of opportunities that we offer. One is when we go overseas without the students, we also offer berths to people where you can pay to come aboard and you can sail with us to the stateside or wherever we're going. And that gives you the opportunity to immerse yourself as an adult in our program. And we also we partner with Gosling's this summer, and we had cruises this summer that were 2 hours long. So that might be good for you if you don't want to be on the boat too long. And then we have an opportunity for the students who have come up through the program. They've become engineers on other boats, and even some of them come back to Spirt to work on board. We have a student, Edward Stubble. He's in Maine Maritime Institute right now, learning how to become a first mate and eventually a captain. And those opportunities are available for every Bermudian, and that's why the boat was built in the first place.
We have some people in the comments. We've got Karen Edward Simmons says, well done, Bermuda Sloop Foundation, STEAM education, experiential learning that offers valuable experiences in youth development, emotional and physical well-being. Monica Dunstan says the sloop is a life-changing experience for adolescents. Support the pirate plunge. Judith thinks it's impressive. And Renee Charlene Simmons, will the Spirit of Bermuda be participating in the Falmouth Tall Ship race 2021?
Okay, we would like to participate in all the opportunities that come our way, but like we all know, we're living in this time of COVID, so things are a little bit restrictive, but we'll figure out if we can participate. So go on our website and get in contact with our CEO, and we can get that information out to you.
Okay, so I have to share this experience since you all want to laugh at me, right? So
come on board. We also take out Endeavor with us as well. We do day sales. You should come. It's not that bad.
No, I've been on the boat before.
Oh, okay.
It was docked in Newport, Rhode Island. So I just want to let people know I've been on the boat when it was stationary.
But you get to feel how awesome she is unless you're feeling the full sail and we're going down the South Channel with the wind blowing, looking at our beautiful island from the water. It's amazing.
I've done it. I did it when I worked at Department of Education. We did a day trip as a team building exercise, and it was awesome. We moved, Jamal. We didn't stay in the dock. We ran around the island or wherever it went. But it was an awesome experience. But I'm laughing because I would be that child that would want to jump off to go get KFC. Like, The phone part, I think I'll be like, my phone and no junk food, I'm gonna die. But the food was delicious though, I have to say.
See, and that shows how brave the students are. Once they get on and they're away from their phones and all the comforts that they're used to, they get to, and then they come out on the other end. So different and so much growth. We're looking for that growth in each and every one of them.
My partner, she said that her son was on the Spirit of Bermuda this week or last week. I said, so that's what parents do nowadays to get rid of their children. But no, honestly, I've heard nothing but good things about the experience. When they were in Newport, when I was working in tourism, they actually sailed down to Bermuda from Newport, Rhode Island, with the ahead of the Newport to Bermuda race.
Yes.
And I just thought, I'm going to just use the word you said earlier. These were probably some of the most courageous young people I have ever come across. It's one thing to get on a boat. It's another thing to sail across the Atlantic.
Oh my goodness, you're absolutely correct, right? Our last trip that we did with students we did 10 students from Portland, Maine, and 10 Bermudian students. And we even hit 25 to 29 foot waves. And being able to come out on the other side of that, and they have their testimonials to talk from, they just grew so much within themselves. They felt like they've just taken giant leaps ahead emotionally. And it was just a really good opportunity to come out on the other side of that.
Indeed. So, what are some of the requirements? Like, there are people that maybe like Carla can't swim. I
can't dive. I can swim.
I
can't dive.
Sorry. No, every time someone jumps over with holding their nose, I just worry for them. But are there requirements? Do you have to be a certain level of swimming? Do you have to have first aid? Like, what is there anything like that?
Well, there's things like that to be professional crew, but we bring our trainee crews. Well, these are the students and the adults that don't have any experience on board, but the professional crew are all certified in STCW qualifications and things like that. But we do an in-depth search and infograph for each student that comes on board. So we know who can swim, who can't swim, and we tend to those needs and deficiencies accordingly. And so we try to get in the water every day, because swimming in Bermuda is also a highlight of their day. After they put in some really hard work, we like to get them in the ocean swimming. And amazingly enough, they're still swimming to this day, as cold as the water is, which is really interesting.
That was going to be my next question. Okay.
Yeah, well, they're still swimming, and they beg me, like, on Monday, there's so much information to go into, because they need to learn how to drive the boat. They need to know how to manipulate the sails. They need to understand why we're doing everything that we're doing. And then we, at the end of the day, after we pack up the sails, it's really hard work, right? Our sails weigh about 900 pounds each, right? And so they have to lift that as a team. So that teamwork is an essential component of their time on board as well. And after that, so I like to give them a little rest at the end of the day, so they get to jump overboard, which is the highlight of their day as well.
It sounds tremendous.
It sounds traumatic.
You've got to come with it moving, not just at the dock.
Well, I'll say this much. It definitely seems like I was a Boy Scout, and it seems like something that will definitely be worth young people's time, and not only time, it's a serious education component that can really stick with them. And the best thing about it is they're not being forced to be there. It's something that they can sign up to do.
Yes.
It's really, really an opportunity. So hopefully, people can get out there, join the plunge. And if there's anything we can do going forward, you all are welcome back. Let me discuss with my conscience and my nerves. And put it this way, if Carla beats me in a tug of war, I'll get on the boat.
So you're getting on the boat.
So exactly. As you, I don't know if you know, we're both outside of Bermuda, but when we return to Bermuda, Jamila, we will have a tug of war, and we'll have you on standby so that we can come on the boat and watch when the boat takes off. He starts crying with his life jacket on and his water wings.
I'll tie you to the boat
for all of that. I would love to see that happen. I would love to see you throwing the gauntlet down. I see.
Yes, it's clear. So let's hope this pandemic goes well. We don't have to do the 5 days. We could do 1 day. Jamal, get ready.
We can offer
Jamila,
that.
my new friend, it was so great to meet you.
It was nice to meet each and every one of you. You guys have a really good day. Thank you.
You as well, Jamila. Thanks so much.
See you later.
Thank you.
I thought she was my friend, and now all of a sudden you have a teammate, Carla. We're gonna take a quick break. Thanks again to Jamila for coming on from the Bermuda Sloop Foundation. I've honestly only heard great things about the Spirit of Bermuda, and everyone who I know whose child has experienced it has amazing stories to share. So if Carla can beat me in a little tug of war, and no cheating, because there was an episode of Martin where Martin said that basically he said, oh, he and his boys can beat Gina and her basketball team. And then Gina went and got the U.S. basketball team, Cheryl Swoops and those girls, right? So you can't go out and get nobody on your team. This is one-on-one.
One-on-one. And it has to be mud or water in the middle for when, and we have to, Jackie, can you record it, please?
Absolutely. I can.
Okay. It's on.
Jamal, you can't put butter or anything on my side of the rope. No.
It's on.
And
it's on.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. Tug of war, Carla, Jamal, it's on. And folks, I ain't taking no prisoners. Don't tell me she's a lady and da-da-da. No, it's war. We'll be right back.
Bermuda, do you know the difference between internet and Wi-Fi? Don't worry, neither did I. Let me break it down to you. Internet is delivered to your modem, which then has to push the Wi-Fi signal into the rest of your home. Do you find that the further you're away from your modem, the weaker your Wi-Fi signal gets? That's because Bermuda's homes are built hurricane tough. It's really difficult for that Wi-Fi signal to reach every room. But you're in luck. Our One Home Wi-Fi solution guarantees Wi-Fi coverage in and around your home with the help of our Eero devices. Plug in the Eero around your home and it will create a mesh Wi-Fi network in every room. Check us out at One today to sign up and make sure you can stream, work, and play from every corner of your home.
All right, it's Carla, it's Jackie, it's me, Jamal. Welcome back to the big show, Daily Hour. Thanks again to Medical House One Communications and Linda's. What you laughing at, Carla?
Because I just got a notification on Twitter. Jack is trying to get banned off. Because Jackie just dished you.
I just don't understand why he's scared of boats. It has to be because he can't swim and he can't stand without body water. Boat is. I don't understand.
He can swim, Jackie. Doggy paddle is a swim.
That's a struggle.
Well, first off,
I'm gonna get you life fast.
Something that we actually spoke about for years because people always wonder, even my wife, because I hadn't been swimming since '99 in Bermuda till she came to Bermuda 2015 or 14. And she had questions like, can you even swim? But no, I mean, swimming's the easy part. It's just a matter of liking what's in the ocean. Like I say all the time,
good.
You don't see sharks walking along 7th Avenue in New York City, so why should I be in that territory? No. I don't mess with that stuff. There's stuff in that water that I don't belong there. That's not my territory.
So if you can see, like, so you go swimming at the beach.
No, he does not go in the water, Jackie.
But you can see what's there. You could just be at your ankles and just sit there like in the tide pools, like the babies.
You know, my wife's nephew, you know, he doesn't like roller coasters, right? And most young boys love roller coasters. And one day I just asked him,
I love roller coasters.
Why don't you like roller coasters? And he says to me, I just think they're unnecessary. And so for me, it's like, to me, you know, I remember when we were younger, my boy Eddie and me, Ed has been in Texas for about 20 years now, but we were those guys that would do flips and stuff out Admiralty House, and just we had no fear at that time, right? But as I got older, it became pointless to me, and I'm just like, I don't want to be in the water with all those fishes and all those people.
So what about the pool? Would you get in a pool?
Yeah, I mean, I'd put my feet in the pool. I'd jump over in a pool and get right back out. I'm just not interested in swimming.
But you could like a sprinkler. I'm gonna get you a sprinkler.
Not even. Bathtubs and showers. That's my comfort. No, I grew up with pools. You know, my father's a pool. My best friend had a pool. You know, when you look at children and pools, right? as they got older, they spend less and less time in them. Now, I've said it on this show before. I don't mind a pool, but I'm not going to go in a public pool. I don't like public pools. I mean, we've already heard from Carl. He's done in them.
Stop.
You said it. You said it last time. I didn't. You said it.
Can we play the daily play, please? And thank you.
Well, I mean, people are questioning my Bermudian. I mean, people say this to me all the time. You know, when I speak to people, obviously people notice an accent. Where are you from? Oh, Bermuda, blah, blah, and we get in conversation. No, I do not go swimming. But you're from an island. Okay.
It's so bizarre to me.
Because I'm from an island, that means I should go swimming. I said, no, I like fishing. That's my thing. But to be clear, if you ever see me fishing and it's only me and you,
is that the aquarium?
No. If it's only you and me, I will ask you to come and take the fish off the hook for me. So,
or you can't come with me.
Well, you will be taking the fish off the hook if we go fishing. I
said you can't. You can't. I'm not going to be stopping. Like, what happens if I get a fish on my line and I'm busy trying to get the fish off of yours? I'm going to lose the fish.
No, you really said that in public that someone would have to take the fish off the line for you? You really said that.
That's not new.
You use your foot and you could, if you don't cure, you could just yank it out.
A man? Yes, I'm sex shaming. A man saying that?
Yeah, I don't touch live fish. That's like picking up the poop after a dog poops. That's why we ain't got no dog. We ain't scooping up. No, we're not doing that.
That's different. Poop is dead.
Danica Butterfield says, I think we should all pay to watch Jamal lose. Carla is not beating me in no, unless she's putting butter on my rope. It's not happening, folks. You all
don't you have a bad back? You don't have a bad back?
No, I don't.
Jamal?
I have all my upper body strength, all my strengths in my upper body. So she is not beating
me too. These arms have hit out home runs. Are you crazy?
I have no upper body strength.
I do.
Oh my goodness.
Look.
Bermuda caught revoked, David says. No, actually, I'm just showing that there's more to Bermuda than a damn beach and the ocean and the water. That's all I'm trying to tell you all. Asked Earl Trot, I feel Jamal, I do not like water. Something tells me Erster Earl Trot is Bermudian too. Look at who's getting cyberbullied. Now, they look, you can't bully me. They ain't got me where, look, Elizabeth, all they're gonna do.
It's not cyberbullying if it's laughing with us.
Hold on, Jackie. They can't hurt both of us. It's like microwaves, right? I remember many years ago, it was Teo, Glenn Jones, and myself. And I said that microwaves, who use microwaves, right? And these guys went crazy on me on the station. And people start calling up saying, yeah, I don't use a microwave. Like it was abnormal for me in 2008, 2007 to say, I don't eat microwaves. And now over the years, more and more people have turned to air fryers and so on. I'm like, a microwave takes the flavor, the taste, everything from food. Like, how are you people? But this was back then. So I say that to say, the way I'm speaking about the ocean and swimming and all that right now, you all do know it. The way that I operate, whether it's conscription, whether it's microwaves, everything that I speak of today comes to fruition. So 10 years from now, when Carla's gray hair is coming out of her eyebrows, and we're here having this conversation,
it's gonna be on a boat like Waterworld.
Well, I will be proved right. I will be proved right. We have the Daily Play, don't we, you guys?
Yes, I see it.
Yes, what I'm telling you.
Oh, it's the Daily Feud time, folks. Daily Feud. All right, here we go. Sorry. Name a TV show you'd hate to spot your neighbor on.
Cheaters.
America's Most Wanted.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
That's number 3.
Snapped.
I agree. That should be number
Cheetahs.
1.
Cheetahs.
I said cheetahs.
Think talk show.
Oh, Jerry Springer.
Yep, that's number 1.
I was gonna say Maury.
Well, I would say Maury first too, because I didn't even know Springer still came on. All right, now names. It doesn't, because I haven't seen.
He's Judge Jerry now.
Oh my goodness,
he's a judge.
Yeah, a judge show.
There's judge so many people, it makes sense.
Exactly. Name something your stomach does. Easy.
Growls.
Yep, you both got it. Let's give him. Give him a rim shot. All right, last one. If time flies, and please, folks, please get this right. If time flies when you're having fun, name a place where it crawls.
What?
The
So easy.
They trap you.
At work.
That is number one, work. I was just hoping none of you said church, right? I was about to say these heathens. Church was number two. But
I was going to say it.
I really thought you
He
were.
didn't even know what Lent was, Jackie. So I don't know what he's laughing at.
Yeah.
I didn't either. I just learned about Lent this year. Because people kept asking me what I'm giving up. But I'm like, why am I giving up something?
Jackie,
Go work on this work. This is fun.
You're not a quitter. Any final words on today, Jackie?
No. Sorry. Clip.
Carla, give us your final word.
Oh my gosh, let me give you some inspiration.
Yes.
I never dreamed about success. I worked for it. As the Estee Lauder.
I love it. Work for it. Work for it. Work for it. Don't wait on it. What you got for us, Carla?
Makes me think of a circus song.
I think that the Sloop Foundation is an awesome charity. Do the plunge, jump in, guys, and support them. If you have a little $5, $10, donate. It'll help the youth of tomorrow. The youth become better people for tomorrow.
I wonder if I can do the plunge and put my toe in or something like that. Maybe I'll talk.
I feel like you should do it as a fundraiser.
Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, and Linda's, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you next week. Carla Zul, Jackie Lambert, I'm Jamel Hartman. But folks, please forgive Jackie and Carla for what's about to happen on social media regarding the bullying of Jamel Hartman. Make it a great weekend. Peace.